Today, this morning, I woke up to the news that Scott was going to retire on scottgames.com. If you want me to be completely honest, I am very, very broken hearing this news. I don't think I've processed it yet, like how big this actually is. For the past week, this has been incredibly stressful for a lot of people in the FNAF community, even outside of the FNAF community, seeing what's happened. I just want to let you guys know that I fully support the LGBTQ community. You guys know I do. I believe in equal rights for every single person on the planet, okay? And I will always stand by that. Honestly, I'm just lost. I'm lost. This is a really difficult video for me to make. Mainly because whatever I say, I think both sides are going to pick things on this and say like, oh, Dorko's homophobic or whatever. And I honestly felt uncomfortable talking about this because, one, I don't live in America. I live in the UK. Two, I'm straight. And three is I'm white. I think it's not really something I can talk about. Because I don't know anything about American politics. So to me, I don't really feel like I have a right to start talking about American politics because I don't know anything about it. But I will say, like I said earlier, is that I am there and I fully agree that every person should have equal rights. What's happened this week is that it was discovered that Scott has been donating to specific political campaigns. And these campaigns and politicians, some of them are anti-LGBTQ. And because of this, it's upset a lot of people who are pro-LGBTQ. And that is completely valid, okay? I am not going to go against anybody who's upset about Scott's actions. That's absolutely fine. And I completely and fully respect that. You are valid to be upset about this situation. Completely valid. What I am upset about, however, is some people on the internet, which always happens in situations like this, that take things too far. Okay? People who are upset would take it too far, aka people who are emailing Scott with death threats, threatening to dox him, threatening him to kill his family and stuff like that. Probably a lot more stuff that Scott's been sent this past week. That's when things get unacceptable, and it's really disappointing that people online feel like they can send a human being those messages, those hateful messages. There's a difference between having an opinion on something and being upset about somebody and criticizing them compared to death threats and compared to literally hate. That's something that I will never stand for in my life, ever sending somebody death threats for having a different opinion. My opinion on the subject is that I was disappointed to hear that Scott had been donating to these politicians. However, I do not believe that Scott donated to them to hate on LGBTQ groups, you know, destroy LGBTQ people in the slightest. I do not believe that. Scott did make a response to the reaction of what happened, so I will allow you guys to read it and have your own opinion. Scott clearly does say that he didn't do this to go against LGBTQ at all. Scott voted and supported these politicians for other reasons. I think Scott needed to do some more research on the politicians and what they believed in before donating to these campaigns. I'm not Scott's brain, so I don't know what he was thinking and I don't know his thoughts. I can't really know the exact reason if Scott knew about it or if Scott didn't know about it. But I've known Scott for 7 years and I know that he's not anti-LGBTQ. Scott always treats people equally. That is valid criticism for Scott. That's completely valid. People are allowed to be upset about this situation. But again, calling Scott anti-LGBTQ and racist when clearly he says that he didn't vote and support these campaigns for that reason, to spread hate. I think if this situation was happened more respectfully towards Scott, and the death threats didn't happen, and the how it blew out of proportion, and Scott got all of these death threats and everything, I actually don't think Scott would have retired, honestly. And it's totally okay. I saw some tweets saying that people didn't want to play the games anymore, or didn't want to buy any more FNAF games in the future. And again, that's absolutely okay. You can do that. I've seen both sides of the end, of each argument. The far side where people are saying, "Oh, you guys shouldn't be upset. You can't be upset. Scott can do what he wants. Scott has his own opinion, etc. You guys are all toxic for criticizing Scott." And then the other side is where people are saying, Scott's an awful person. Scott is racist. Scott is anti-LGBTQ. Scott deserves this and this and this. That's basically what's been happening this past week, is where these two arguments have basically just been fighting each other all week. And, we've just had to watch it happen and go absolutely crazy. And it's been incredibly stressful seeing both sides of these arguments and not a middle ground. I think most of the FNAF fan base and in general are not on these sides, because these are like the extreme sides. I think most people are in around a middle ground, where some people have said, I'm disappointed in Scott, but I'll continue to play the games and support the franchise and see how things go. And there's the other side where people are saying, I'm disappointed in Scott, I won't be playing any future FNAF games. That's completely valid and respectful on both sides. And I really wish that the whole, everybody was that respectful to each other, where they're like, okay, that's fine. I wish you all the very best, right? But there's always going to be those, extreme sides on each side, unfortunately. If you haven't already noticed, I didn't make a video about this, mainly because I didn't want to, because I was scared. I'm going to be completely honest, I was scared, because whatever I would say, there will always be people who will accuse me of being anti-LGBTQ for supporting Scott and still playing the games and making FNAF videos. And I just didn't want to make a video because I was scared, because of the death threats that Scott was getting. I was scared. And I didn't even say anything of the matter. I think I did tweet something saying, I'm disappointed in Scott, but I will continue to support the franchise. But I didn't really say anything after that, because I just wanted to see if things calm down, and give Scott some time to think about what he wants to do. Because with his statement at the end, he did say that he was he was thinking about retiring, which I didn't want to see happen. I wanted to see how things with time would go. Maybe on his statement, or he could make another statement saying that he's more, open-minded. He'll be more open-minded in the future about where his money goes. Something like that. And I think that would have settled things down a bit more, because the statement that he made, I think it actually made some people more angry about what he said, but it also calmed some people down as well. Again, whatever Scott would say, I think it was going to upset people anyway. And unfortunately, within the week, Scott has made a statement on scottgames.com that he's going to retire. Now, I always try to see the positive, a positive outlook in life, always. I always try to think of the positive things about this. And the positive thing about this is that Scott gets to have a break. And you can see the statement that he's made. He gets to spend time with his family now. And these 7 years with Five Nights at Freddy's has been an absolute joy. I've loved every single minute of FNAF. And the other positive thing about it is that FNAF's not dead. FNAF's not going anywhere. Scott's just taking a step back and letting somebody else work on the games. And Scott will always still be there. I think he'll even give advice to the company who he gives the franchise to. So he's still going to be there behind the scenes. It's just that he's taken a step back from social media and the internet, and he's just going to be working behind the scenes by the looks of things, guiding the franchise just behind the scenes and not taking it forefront. And what made me even scared to make a video is that I was getting hate messages without even saying anything. You know, you guys know I'm not anti-LGBTQ. I don't hate anybody, and I never would hate anybody. And seeing messages saying that I am, accusing me of being anti-LGBTQ, made me really angry. The fact that people were accusing me of these things when I'm clearly not, and I would never be, it made me take a step back and be like, hold on, do I want to make a video about this? Because I feel like people are going to go absolutely mental about whatever I say, whatever opinion I have. This is where it's hard to talk about because I don't want to, because, you know, I don't want to get upset on camera. But Scott means a lot to me. Okay, Scott means a lot to me. He's inspired me so much in these past 7 years, and he's always been there for me if I ever need him. One example was, I think it was about a year ago, where I was really, really low, and feeling suicidal. And I emailed Scott asking for advice on what I should do, and he really, really helped me, and he got me out of a really dark hole. A really dark hole. And I didn't really message anybody about it, but I knew I could message Scott because I knew that he could help me and give me advice on how I'm feeling and what I should do. So Scott means a lot to me. Scott's always there, no matter what. And I know personally that he's a great person. Although I don't agree with what's happened, and that's absolutely fine that people can be upset about what's happened. But Scott is a real person, and I know he's a real person, and I know he's one of the kindest people on the planet. Okay? And he really means a lot to me. And I know there's going to be comments saying, oh, Dorko, you're just licking his arse. You know, you're just chatting crap. And that's okay. If you think I'm licking his arse from knowing him for 7 years and having some really heartfelt conversations with him privately and advice, that's absolutely fine. You can have that opinion of me. But I will never stand for anybody being sent hate messages like Scott has been getting this past week. The things that I've seen of what people think about Scott and the threats that they've said, and some of the most hateful things I've seen to a person who I know is one of the best people out there, has been horrible to see. It's been incredibly upsetting to see that some people have said these things to Scott, about Scott. Again, this video has not been I just wanted to talk, guys. I haven't wrote a script or anything. I haven't put bullet points down on what to say. I'm just talking about how I feel about this situation. And at the end of the day, no matter what side you're on, I think it's just a sad ending in general. I think this is just sad and heartbreaking. Whatever side you're on, I just think it's sad. I'm glad that Scott isn't going like quitting everything. It's reassuring to know that Scott said that FNAF's still going to be here, and I think the FNAF fan base will be okay. There's a lot of loving people in this community. There's a lot of great artists, great SFM artists, drawers. There's a lot of great people in this community. Music, art, SFMs, games, the fan games the past 7 years. There's a lot of talented people in this community. And I think a lot of people have brought out their talents by this game that Scott's made. I wouldn't be here without FNAF. And I know some other content creators wouldn't be either. This game has changed so many people's lives in the past 7 years. So many. And all in all, this franchise and Scott have created a lot of positive memories and a lot of positive changes. All of the fan games that have been made, all of the amazing music, all of the great memories of the FNAF games in general. So many. You can just think of so many good memories with this franchise. And hopefully there'll be much more to come in the future. FNAF and Scott have gave me so many good memories that I'll never forget, ever. Ever. I'll never forget it. With YouTube, yes, YouTube can be stressful and the internet can be stressful, but FNAF is just so meaningful to me, and that will never change, ever. I could go on. I could make a 10-hour video just talking about all the memories I have with this game, specifically 50-20 mode, right? But that's not today's video. You know, we're not going to be sad and think that FNAF's gonna end. It's incredibly difficult for me to just even talk about this because I don't think my brain has accepted what's happened yet, and I don't think it will for a long time. I'm just glad that, and I really, really do hope that Scott will be okay. I really do. And I hope in the future that Scott has a really happy life and is relaxed and spends time with his family. And I really do hope that Scott feels like he's made the best decision for him. I have messaged Scott privately, by the way. The past week, I have been messaging him, asking if he's okay and hoping that he's okay, and sending him my best wishes. Do I hate Scott? Would I ever hate Scott? No, I would never hate Scott. Was I disappointed about the donations to these campaigns? Of course I was. I think anybody with progressive beliefs and pro LGBTQ would be disappointed in hearing about this. Seeing Scott's retirement post really, really did knock me around. I woke up about 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, and I got some messages saying, you know, check Scott's website, and it felt like just a stab in the chest. I couldn't really comprehend what I was reading, and I thought I was in a dream. I really did. I think Scott inevitably was going to retire. I kind of felt that when Scott was starting to let other companies take control of some games like Steelwool and Illumix, and starting to open up his franchise to other companies. I did have like that feeling in the back of my mind, thinking like, okay, I've got a feeling that Scott will retire in the future. It's just sad that it had to be cut short. However, I will always respect Scott's decision in retiring. I think that takes a lot of courage to do what he's done. People are disappointed of what's happened, some more than others and some not. And that's completely valid to have an opinion on this. But the fact Scott has said, I'm going to retire, shows a lot of courage. Very, very commendable, because some people wouldn't do that. Again, I'm the type of person to try and see the positive in things. If you're watching this video, you're completely valid to be upset about Scott retiring. I'm upset as well. I'm broken. It still hasn't, I still can't comprehend what's happened this past week. But just know that FNAF isn't going anywhere. Scott will still be behind the scenes watching over his baby, FNAF. And we've just got to try and move forward and, bring back the FNAF franchise to how it used to be. I think that can happen. I do think that can happen. We do have the Trevor Project charity stream later this month, by the way, which was already planned before all of this happened. I already said that I was going to do a Trevor Project live stream this month for Pride Month. I already said that before this happened, okay? And, that's got the whole FNAF community there. We're going to raise awareness about pro-LGBTQ in the community. And Scott fully backs that, and he always backs charity streams. And Scott has said that he will be there to donate, and I really don't think that's a PR move. If it was a PR move, he wouldn't be retiring. I do think in hindsight as well, Scott does realise, that when you donate to a political party, it can be for other reasons that you haven't really researched about. You could be donating or voting for a politician for good reasons that you believe in. However, behind the scenes, without research or being blinded by not seeing them, that some parties do have darker reasons behind the scene. That some politicians, unfortunately, do have darker beliefs and are not pro-LGBTQ and not progressive. And I think Scott has realised that. I will be doing FNAF content in the future, and I always will. I don't know who Scott will be giving the rights to FNAF to. In my opinion, I think it might be Steelwool. If I had to guess who. But I'm not going to theorise or go into detail about that because that's not the point of this video. I would think it would be Steelwool. I think Steelwool have the most experience with game creating and with FNAF in general. I just wanted to make a video to let you guys know about the situation. I'm broken, and I know a lot of people in the community are. I've already said my thoughts on the situation in general. I am disappointed about what happened, and I am pro-LGBTQ, and I always will be. Equal rights for everybody. Okay, I really do believe that, and I always will. I always will. So I'm not saying what Scott has done is valid. I'm talking more about people who have, been very, very hateful about what's happened and the fact how it's completely blown out of proportion and caused a lot of stress to everybody, as well as Scott. It's something that shouldn't have happened, but it's completely valid that people are upset about what's happened. Okay, that's completely valid, and hopefully Scott will be okay. Is what I should have said. In the future, I do think he will be. I think most people in on the planet, on the internet, in the community, are respectful about what's happened and can, appreciate and be respectful to other people's opinions on this, on what's happened. Okay, it's going to take a while to process. Again, like I said, I really, really try to think of the positive things. And I've already said that I think with time, I think it will be okay. And Scott will be here behind the scenes anyway. It's just taking a step back away from the internet, I think. I think the internet is just it's scary in general. I think like just creating a lot of arguments, very dark arguments where it starts to get hateful and not respectful. I really wish we could live in a world where that doesn't happen, but unfortunately it does, and it's pretty scary. We just got to be kind. Think about what you say before you be horrible to somebody online. Okay, they could be going through so much more behind the scenes. Okay, with the internet, you don't really know somebody's personal life. People just think, every YouTuber or content creator or everybody is just happy. Okay, and the thing is, that's not the case with anybody. Okay, somebody who you walk past in the street, or somebody who tweets something online, they probably have something, bad happening to them behind the scenes that they're going through. Everybody is going through something in life. So just remember to just be respectful and don't argue back with somebody, and don't be negative back to somebody. Just try to be positive and be open-minded. I'm guessing people think that, I'm always happy all the time, but I'm not. With some videos, I have to just put on a mask and act and pretend that I'm happy and I'm okay. But what I'm trying to say is everybody's going through something. Even Scott was probably going through stuff before all of this happened. Criticism is completely valid. That's absolutely okay. It's more about when things go too far with hatred and people start to argue. Okay. Honestly, I don't think that's ever going to change. I feel like there'll always be people who are hateful with people's opinions and stuff like that. But I hope today's video and anybody else's videos, or what's happened with Scott, makes people take a step back and be like, okay, I need to be more open-minded. I need to be more respectful to people's opinions. But again, people being upset, absolutely valid. That's okay. Also, what I'm trying to say is, like, if I post a video tomorrow or the next day and I'm being happy and stuff, that's because, I'm just trying to give people an escape from reality. That's what I've always wanted my channel to be. Somebody's had a bad day, they can go on YouTube and watch videos. I don't want people seeing me being upset and sad about the situation or about any situation. My job is to create good, like, happy content for people, as a form of escapism online. So if you do see a video in the future about, like, me being happy, please don't think like, oh my God, Dorko looks so happy. He doesn't care about Scott. He doesn't care about what's happened. I do. I really, really do care. But I don't want to be like, I don't want to make sad videos, because that's not what I strive to be. I want to be positive, and I always try to find something positive. So again, I am upset about what's happened. I am very, very upset. I still haven't taken it in because it's all been so very sudden. This has all happened in the space of a week. I'm very, very upset about everything. I respect everybody's opinions, all of them. Okay, I respect you all. I do think that FNAF's going to be okay, and Scott is going to be behind the scenes anyway. He's just taking a step back and letting another company or person be you know, be there for FNAF. So I don't think it's going to affect the story. If anybody's worried about, there's going to be the bite of 2072 instead of 87 or something, or, any changes with the story, I don't think the new company's going to say, the crying child's Billy Bob or Chuck E. Cheese. So I wouldn't worry about that. Scott's still going to be behind the scenes, so don't worry. I also just wanted to say, and I love you guys, okay? I love this community, and I love you guys. Anybody who has had an opinion and disappointed with Scott, or wants to leave the franchise, or wants to stay in the franchise, or whatever, I really, really respect you guys, okay? Whatever decision you make, whether you're upset or angry or completely fine and you don't care, that's absolutely fine, okay? Absolutely fine. And I completely respect that. If you want to unsubscribe from me and you don't want to watch FNAF content anymore, that's absolutely okay. I would never stop anybody in believing their own opinions. You're absolutely okay to do that. What's not okay is when people take it a step too far and start threatening people on their opinions, whether you are staying in the community or not. Just have respect. Just take a step back from the internet for a bit and just have respect for people, okay? That's all I can say on this matter, is just be respectful. And finally, I want to say a massive thank you to Scott for being there for me and being there for the community for the past 7 years. I know you're not going, and I know you're still going to be here, but everything that you've done the past 7 years with the franchise and the games that you've made, and allowing other companies to start working on the games, being respectful to a wide variety of people in the community, praising songs and fan games, and allowing fan game creators make their own initiative and doing things like that, which I doubt any other creator would do. Thank you. Honestly, you haven't just changed my life. You've changed millions of people's lives for the better. Okay? Millions. And I really, really do hope that what's happened does not take away what you have done for this community the past 7 years. I really do hope that in 10 years' time, that you don't look back at this moment. You look back at the 7 years of hard work and passion and love that you've put into this franchise and the community. A lot of people will remember how Five Nights at Freddy's was created, with the criticism that you got on the past games that you've made, and you took that and you took it to your advantage, and you worked hard and you didn't give up, and you kept going. You kept striving and you didn't give up. A lot of people on this planet will look back at that and take inspiration from it. So with that, thank you, Scott. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the franchise. Thank you for being there for me and many others in the community. Thank you for everything. I also wanted to say a massive thank you to you guys. I wanted to say a massive thank you to the FNAF community in general, all of the people who I've met, all of the people who I've worked with, all of the songwriters, fan game creators, everybody. I hope I've spoke about everything. I probably haven't. And I've probably said things that people aren't going to be happy with. But, I think that's going to happen anyway. Even if I said a million things, there'll always be something that somebody's going to be upset with. Try to be understanding, try to be respectful to one another, and just be kind, okay? It's not hard. It's not difficult to be kind, okay? That's all you've got to do. And of course you can talk about your opinion on you being disappointed with what's happened, or if you're not disappointed, that's completely fine. What I'm talking about is just being respectful to other people's opinions and be understanding, okay? Everybody's opinions are valid, and you just got to be compassionate about it. And I really hope in the future we can be positive about things. and we can keep doing the charity streams on the channel, and we can keep the FNAF community positive and keep striving forward. And you know, I hope that Scott can look back and believe that this was the right decision that he's done. And I really hope that he can go back. He did make a post about this a while ago, and he talked about how one day when he ever retires, he can look back and smile. He can see people's creations. He can watch people's videos in the FNAF community after he retires and be happy about it. Okay? And I really hope that happens. Lots of love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.